It is coming. Leave now, or all of you will die.
It is coming. Also, did he just fucking... What?
Run! We have to evacuate immediately!
Was that a missile? It looked like a missile.
What just happened here? The fort. It's just gone.
What do they think they achieved with that, too? A show of force? Not much of a show of force when we have you back towards your capital.
What was that? It was like a javelin of light fell from the sky.
Is that what... I don't recall ever seeing anything that gave that visualization before. So that was that. I thought it might, but then it was like, that didn't seem very light-like. And in the little, like, snippets they showed, it almost made it look like it was an actual proper missile. That was, like, being directed via, like, magic circles or something like that. Huh. That's intriguing.
Javelin of light. Well, that describes it pretty well. The fortress was supposedly impregnable, but look at it now.
Still don't know what they think they're achieving through that. Huh.
It's hard to imagine that the Empire would do something like that. But if not them, then who?
Right. I don't see the strategic advantage to doing that. Again, the only thing that comes to mind would be like a show of force to scare us away.
And for what purpose? If they wanted to kill us, then why wait until now to use it?
And it doesn't seem like they did a very good job if that was the intent. They should have surprised us when we were being peaceful over at, like, Garrick Mach and whatnot, right? When we're prepping for stuff and we're not expecting something like that. There's a million ways they could use that sort of thing. What's its range?
Do we really have time to be worrying about that? If another one of those javelins of light falls, we're all dead!
Claude, there are things I wish to ask you, but first we must hurry and withdraw.
Right you are. Come on, everyone. Let's hurry up and get out of here.
I guess we don't have a, like, strong staging point for attacking the capital now? Maybe that's an art. Maybe, I don't know.
Claude, it is time for you to explain. Why are you so close with an Almyran general?
Well, he did quite a bit for me when I was younger.
Wait, have ever... I feel like I figured this out in part 1. Are we really gonna try to... Okay.
When you were younger, so before you joined House Regan. How and where did you meet him? There aren't many opportunities to meet a general from Almyra in Fodlan.
If that's what you believe, it's only because that's what you've been led to believe. There's a big, wide world outside of Fodlan, and it's overflowing with different places and cultures. You think interacting with outsiders is odd, but isn't avoiding contact with the outside world far more unnatural?
Don't change the subject, Claude. To the people of the Alliance, the Almyrans are...
It's true that there's a history of hostility, but why should that mean we're doomed to remain hostile forever? The Almyrans aren't monsters. You saw it for yourself, didn't you? If you just give them a chance, you'll see that they're people.
I had to... I know it's the AI, but he still went after Linhardt. He's a little bit of a monster, at least that guy.
Right, Teach? What did you think when you met Nader?
He's... interesting?
I'll tell him you said that. And I'm sure that if all of you got to know him, all of your preconceived notions would change too. I know you guys, and you aren't the type of people to reject someone without trying to get to know them.
But how did those Almirans even get past Fodlan's throat? I doubt my brother would just let them pass without saying anything.
Yeah, about that. I actually made sure your brother met Nadir in advance.
What? Lord Holst met with an Almiran general?
Oh, so that's why you were so interested in my brother. But wait, they're supposed to be bitter enemies. They've fought each other several times before.
I know, it was a big gamble. But rather than having me try to convince them myself, I knew it would be easier to just have them meet. They were taken aback at first, but sure enough, they hit it off. They were even drinking to their newfound brotherhood before parting.
It makes sense. If you take the greatest heroes away from the battlefield, of course they'll get along.
Fighting one minute and drinking together the next? Men are so weird.
Ultimately, someone's bloodline has nothing to do with the friendships they forge. Relations between the Alliance and Almira is a matter we'll tackle in the future. Still, I want to take this opportunity to make one thing clear to all of you. After we defeat the Empire, I intend to tear down the walls that separate Fodlan from the outside world. I want to let people and goods come and go freely, and in doing so, eradicate prejudices about the outside world.
Would it even be possible to achieve such a thing? It directly contradicts the Seros tenets.
Hey, buddy, I think I'm in a pretty good position to basically say, nah, on all that shit.
Does it? I'm not so sure.
Who cares?
In any case, I'm prepared for the inevitable protests and criticism. New ways of doing things are always met with resistance. During our time at the Officers Academy, all of you overcame the barriers of birthplace, status, and ideology. Having gone through so much with all of you, I have no doubt that, in time, you'll understand.
I guess there were a lot of different people there. People we wouldn't have met through the normal course of our lives.
Dusker once opposed the kingdom, but there was someone from Dusker there. Brigid once invaded the Empire, but the Brigid princess was there. We ate at the same table as those people. Sure, sometimes we didn't get along, but other times we helped each other out. Can we really draw a definitive line in the sand and say one group of people is all good and another all bad? If I can realize my dream, Fodlan will be reborn. The old age will end, and we'll welcome a new dawn.
But if...
Save your objections for another day, Gloucester boy.
There is certainly an argument to be made that if you throw people into an uncomfortable situation, a culture of stagnant tradition and beliefs, that if you throw them into a new situation, those things will be questioned much quicker. And the pure faith and, well, blind faith in the powers that be that tell you what the world is and should be will be questioned much more. I am, of course, referring to religion typically. Just look at, say, the Renaissance and whatnot. You know what? That's actually probably a good, that's probably, like, if you look at the, if you look at all the stuff that Rhea had, hidden away, I think that's actually not a horrible way to basically, like, frame what the world status is. It's like the world is on a cusp of a renaissance, and all the powers that be just want to keep the status quo until all this happens.
That said, there are more pressing matters to discuss. Our next step is to invade the Imperial capital, right?
That's right. I'm sure Edelgard is eagerly awaiting our arrival in Enbar. Reinforcements from the Alliance Lords should arrive soon. Let's make sure we're ready to greet them.
Perfect. Well, we don't have a staging point from inside the Empire at least now, so I guess that's probably the point of what they did. So, yeah.
Part 2. Verdant Wind. Garland Moon. The Chaos of War. Claude's plan to call in Almiran forces succeeds,
and the Alliance army captures Fort Merceus. Before they can celebrate their victory, javelins of light rain down from the sky and destroy the fort. Forced to temporarily evacuate, the Alliance army regroups at Garreg Mach until it is ready to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
There's still no real logic to them doing that I can think of. It's not going to scare us off, I mean, obviously. I wonder how much the Death Knight is still basically working directly with them at this point.
It's almost time to invade the Imperial capital. We still don't know where Rhea is, but if she's alive, she's likely in Enbar. Hopefully we manage to find her without too much trouble.
I do wonder if she is alive.
If the Empire has some reason to keep Rhea alive, then she's alive. I'm sure you must be anxious to see her again.
I need to see her. Oh my god. These literally don't mean anything different. Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna shut off the game. You can't give me the, oh man, I really care about her, and the, like, I'm sort of on Claude's side and I'm more just curious about answers from her. I guess the top one's closer to that, but
I understand. You need to see Rhea again so you can figure out who you really are. But we're going up against Edelgard here. It won't be so simple.
obviously.
Our next stop is the Imperial capital. We've sure come a long way.
What are you talking about? This is Garreg Mach. It's where we started.
Raphael.
I didn't mean literally, Raphael. I was speaking symbolically.
My earnest desire to protect the Alliance has carried me this far. It will not fail me. I am sure the rest of you all have your own reasons to fight as well. Of course, I understand that the fight will not end until we defeat the Empire. And now the time has arrived at long last to march on the Imperial capital and defeat the Emperor.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? We all come from different places and have different goals and dreams. But thanks to those two, we were all able to come together and overcome all sorts of challenges.
You are referring to Claude and the Professor, I assume. Even within our own odd group, those two are particularly unusual.
Thanks.
Oh, so you are aware that you're odd.
Well, it was simply a figure of speech. I am speaking about Claude and the Professor right now.
They're like the wind and the trees.
Huh? Claude and the Professor are? What does that even mean? And who is which?
I want to be the wind.
Oh, I was just thinking that if we're the birds, then those two are like the trees and the wind. The Professor is a great tree that kindly embraces us and watches over us as we perch on its branches. And Claude is like the wind, pushing us forward as we soar across the open sky.
I like that.
The metaphor about the Professor is solid, but I think Claude just blows us around on a whim. Still, we owe him a lot.
I think that's beautiful, Marianne. I can really picture it. When this war is over, I'd love to paint a picture of those two. Oh, and of all the people we've fought with as well.
You mean like a historical painting? I like that. Maybe our descendants will look at it a long, long time from now.
I must say, that piques my interest. I look forward to seeing how you portray my valiant efforts.
When you put it that way, we may be witnessing one of the greatest events in Fodlan's history. It's a lot of pressure, but the sense of duty I feel is even stronger than the fear.
I'm just happy to be here with all you. I won't get scared, no matter what we face.
We have our goal. Enbar, the Imperial capital. Let's get to work.
It's nice that they come together without the rest of us needing to push them along too. So we're just gonna go on the capital next. That's okay. I can work with that. Okay, well, I think that's where I'm going to end this particular recording session. still intrigued. My best guess would be that Edelgard's probably reaching the end of her ropes and is just sort of letting them do as they please as part of her. As I imagine they're probably putting pressure on her to let them do as they please, basically to keep getting their help, because she probably doesn't have much left in terms of options. So, yeah. That's where I'm going to leave it. So, I'll talk to you all next time. Drive safely, everyone. And hello, and welcome back. So, this is my plan for today. I don't know how far I'm going to get in it, but I think I'm going to save that last Claude paralogue until after this next chapter, at the very least. Because I'm capable of doing it next month. So apparently this, at the very least, is not the last month, because there is a deadline in August. So,
Cornelia took control of the kingdom capital, and then founded the Fargus dukedom in the Old Kingdom territory. Still, Fargus has remained a mere spectator with regard to our actions so far. It's not so surprising when you consider that they can't even get a handle on the Fraldarius territories.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about what's going on over there.
Well, what if we can win this war? Then Claude will be the king of Fodlan, and maybe he'll tear down the wall that separates Fodlan from the outside world.
Will he? Is there an actual intention to just unite Fodlan under the Alliance's rule at that point? He hasn't explicitly said that at the very least. But if he does have that situation, yes, I do believe he explicitly told us already.
I know it's hard to imagine.
Not really.
But I really hope he does. It would be so much better if people could live together instead of apart. I might even be able to live an ordinary life in the world Claude envisions.
Yeah. That's good. I do not object to your premise, at the very least. So.
Hi there!
That Nardell guy, or Nader, I suppose. It was all some trick, and we fell for it. I don't think the nickname The Undefeated applies if he flees from us. Though, maybe he only got that name by running away. Can't be defeated if you run off, right?
True. True. He didn't run when he was faced with defeats in Crimson Flower, though, so maybe not.
Dare the Undefeated? With a name like that, he's bound to put up a damn good fight. Did you get a good look at Judith? She practically had hearts floating out of her eyeballs when she looked at Nader.
I'm not so sure about that.
Pretty dense, aren't you? Trust me, pal. No one's seen more heart-eyed women than this guy. He's got it bad. It makes
Sure.
all the sense. Even seasoned warriors aren't immune to love, pal.
I think you might be reading way more into it, or at the very least, I think you might be confusing. Oh my goodness, he's totally exactly that sort of person that completely convinces himself these girls are into him when they're not, and he just over time assumes all these random little things are like a sign to that.
Just recently, the fish in the pond suddenly started thrashing around like mad. I didn't know what was going on. And then I saw something gleaming in the southeastern sky. It happened right when you were out on campaign. I wonder what it could have been.
Oh, the light javelin? Good point. I'm surprised that it would cause... So, you saw something gleaming, but it wasn't causing like a tremor here. What would cause the fish to go mad? Are they... I guess, what's the actual implication there? That they're more in tune with the cataclysmic stuff going on? Is that the implication, or is there actually something scientific that I can take from that?
We're heading up to Embar next. I hope I make it back safe so I can tell my little sis about it.
I hear they got a neat opera house there, where Manuela used to perform. What was it called again?
Middle Frank sounds right.
Haha, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
My little sis always goes on about how much she'd like to see him perform. I know we can't see a show, but do you think we could at least see the building?
I would be interested if I can actually track that down. If I remember, I'll see if I can, track down where that is.
Professor?
If we're fighting
Greetings,
there.
Professor? Nothing to report. Momentum's really picking up for this final battle, huh? Even I'm starting to feel tense. Me! Enbar's history goes back 1,400 years. That even predates the founding of the Empire. It's one of the sacred sites of the Seros faith, so it's a pretty big deal. But hey, no need to worry about the monastery while you're fighting the final battle. I've got it covered. I'll defend it to my last.
What was happening in the continent before 1,400 years ago? Because the Seros stuff is actually relatively new. I'm not saying 1,000 years is a small amount of time, but that's not a long time in history, so...
There's unrest everywhere these days. I hope things go back to normal.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago, I thought it was impossible to secure a victory against the Imperial Army. But you've shown me miracles can happen after all. I believe that victory is within your grasp.
Potentially. The fact that there's more chapters based on Claude's paralogue at the very least makes me curious if this will actually be a final battle. It doesn't feel like we've got into anything climactic yet at the very least.
Here we are, facing the final battle with the Empire. It's been a long, difficult struggle.
Should I take back what I just said?
We have to get Lady Rhea back. And we have to crush the Empire in the name of Captain Gerald. I don't know what comes next, but we can sort out those details later.
I would feel sort of pretty against something like crushing the Empire in the name of myself. I would feel used if I was in that situation. I know I would be dead, but that would be my opinion on it. I don't really feel like I'd want to do that for someone else. You defeat the Empire in order to achieve your goals. You don't do it for some moral victory at this point. There are objectives we're trying to work towards. It's not a matter of... It's war, so we're long past the point of just, moral victory, at the very least. Or at least fighting for moral... Whatever you want to call it. I'm probably not phrasing what I'm meaning very well.
Yeah, reinforcements from the Alliance are still incoming. Perhaps we can wait. At least until we have an even balance of power. Plenty of supplies have made it through from the Eastern Church and the Merchants Association and the Alliance. All the people of the Alliance believe we can win, so they're doing everything they can to support us. That means we have to do our best to live up to their expectations.
Perfectly fair, at the very least. I won't disagree with your premise.
It's been so long since I've been to the Imperial capital. I used to go to the opera there with my mother and brother.
Interestingly, you've sort of been part of everything now because I brought you in a Golden Deer. Started in the Empire, went to the Kingdom, and joined the Alliance. Interesting at the very least.
I never thought my return would be like this.
It's okay. Your brother's in an odd situation. I don't know your mother's situation well enough to know if she's even alive now. So, yep.
I see. My friend, the reinforcements the Lord sent are finally gathering. Truth be told, Fort Merceus would have made for a better base of operation. But that weird pillar of light changes things. It's pretty scary, honestly. I wonder what it is.
It physically looked... Rage at the goddess. It physically looked like a damn missile. It did. It did. A natural phenomenon. I don't know. Out of these, magic, probably.
Makes sense. But whatever it was, I've never seen destructive power quite like it. I wonder where it came from. Well, I guess pondering it is a waste of energy for now. Let's just get ready to move out. The capital is Edelgard's domain, so she has the advantage. It's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, I haven't thought too much about this since I last recorded.
Oh my.
That's the thing, it looked like a missile, but I didn't get a good enough look at it to be like, yeah, that's explicitly supposed to look like a missile. Or if that was just their weird design for it that sort of reminded me of it.
With the Empire destroyed, the borders within Fodlan will likely become a thing of the past. With that, the rules of trade will change. Personally, I'm excited to see what these changes will bring.
Well, if you want to go a step further in terms of borders being, thrown out.
Invading the capital and smashing the Empire. I wonder if doing so could really end this war. Care to share your thoughts, Professor?
I would never be one to go out on such a limb to claim that it'll end everything, considering there's more chapters especially. Seemingly. Either we're not going to finish it off during this, or there's going to be like some twist that'll cause a second battle that we'll have to come back for, or maybe we'll lose. Ooh, wouldn't that be interesting? If we actually properly lost a battle and we had to regroup. Even though we play through it and we win, we get to a win condition where we can escape or something like that. Imagine if we had an actual, map where you had to, defeat someone and then you got, surrounded, and then what you had to do is you actually had to get everyone to escape. Have we had anything like that? Because we've had so many times where our lose condition would be, say, letting someone escape or something like that. Or it changed the win condition to something else or something like that. So if they can do it, why can't we do it? I don't know, though.
Perhaps you feel similarly to me. The whole mess puts me on edge. Although for now, better to focus my efforts on the fight at hand.
No objection to that sentiment at the very least.
Professor, we're about to put the finishing touches on this war. I wonder how Fodlan will look without the backdrop of death and destruction. I can't wait to see it. On the other hand, I'm terrified of what the future might hold. Who knows if I'll survive the assault on the capital?
True. I think I will do everything in my power to keep you all alive, though.
Right. Enbar. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I'd be returning like this. Of course, most of the nobles in the Empire make their home in the capital. In the kingdom, all nobles live in their own domains. So if the capital is attacked, it doesn't necessarily affect them directly. What will happen to the Imperial nobles when their capital becomes a battlefield?
I don't think it will mean much, because I'm pretty sure Edelgard's already sort of throwing that out. It's all entirely just a normal autocratic government system at this point, rather than just, noble lineages.
Here's an idea. The Empire's army should be divided now, with significant troops still in the west. If they don't assert their authority over the Old Kingdom's lords, they'll never know when an uprising might start. Ironically, as soon as we capture the Imperial capital, the Old Kingdom's lords are likely to rise up immediately.
True. Wouldn't they prioritize defending the capital, though? It seems like that's the common sense action you'd be taking here, but who knows, I guess. Who knows?
Oh. Of course, the Alliance is making sure that the 5 Great Lords help with the effort, but we'll be getting support from the smaller territories, too. I'll bet this is the first time those territories have worked so closely together, at least since the founding of the Alliance.
I'm just gonna say, that voice for that character model is just... It's such a...
That's right.
Just with that outfit.
It's such a relief that we've made it this far without having to fight my father.
We haven't seen him, have we? So, unless he pops up and magically has a portrait and model and whatnot, there are so many characters we've heard about that don't have any assets to speak of. He seems like he's probably one of them, so he probably won't show up. I'm gonna guess he's out on a different front or something. Some other excuse to not have him in the area like Holst has. Sounds like you're scared.
You bet I'm scared. The Imperial army hasn't lost a single battle with my father on the field. If he turns up as a reinforcement during the assault, we might lose. I'd better make my peace with that.
Good point. Actually, based on how everyone's speaking, I might have a theory on how this is gonna, like, play out. Basically, the idea that we'll go, we'll sort of win it, and then suddenly his army will show up and we'll have... Maybe we will actually have to retreat. That would be actually pretty interesting, wouldn't it?
Really?
I was taught from a young age to believe that the creed of Seiros was just the way of the world. To question it never even occurred to me.
Yeah, that's...
But Claude and Edelgard are different. They challenge the common wisdom, even defy it.
Yeah, that is sort of the thing that I think needs to happen in this world. The problem with the world as I see it is that it's stuck in such a status quo that's slowly deteriorating all the benefits that the current system has, to a point that it's at a breaking point where either the people are forced to accept seeing the world in a different way, because like he said, the people are told that this is just how the world works. It is the fundamental basis to their knowledge of how the world works. And if it's it's very hard to do anything to make people question that. And it's like when I have defended the idea that maybe a war is necessary, it's basically based around that idea. Absolute control gives you the power to change things at a fundamental level. Are the sacrifices worth it to achieve what's being achieved? That's your personal decision to make. But sacrifices do need to be made in order to achieve something in any capacity. Which ones? What sort of sacrifices? Whether you're the one to initiate them. Those are all decisions to be made by different people based on their situation and context and the resources they have available and whatnot. And I'm not going to say the ends justify the means, because obviously they don't always. But sometimes they do. Because sacrifices, like I said, will always be something that you have to do, which essentially equates to the means. And whether those means are something worth it for that end is, you know, your decision to make. The ends don't always justify the means, is the point I'm making, but they can. Just like they can in a low-risk, low-sacrifice situation. The ends would justify the means, right? It's a sliding scale, and there's a lot of personal opinion in there.
It is uncomfortable to discard familiar assumptions, but that is an essential quality of the visionary. Indeed, true greatness must lie beyond common sense. That's good. I should write that down.
And for someone like Lorenz, whose entire worldview seems to be based around the fundamental common sense of how he sees nobles and whatnot, to start questioning it is a good sign.
Please.
In my opinion.
Professor.
There are all kinds of rumors about you spreading through the Alliance.
Ooh?
Some say you're the new embodiment of Saint Seiros herself.
Well, I certainly don't think I have the figure for that, but okay.
Claude's popularity has certainly risen too. Somewhat.
So I'm popular and Claude's sort of popular. Oh, that's fantastic. That's sort of hilarious.
So...
I wonder if it's because of how Claude's going about stuff. Like, he's using the whole church thing as a bigger excuse in order to unite people, right? He has been using me in that way, right?
Did you know? A magnificent canal flows through downtown Enbar. It's said to have been constructed under the guidance of Saint Seiros before the Empire was even formed. Ever since, that canal has been a major lifeline for the capital's development. And now this is how the Empire repays it. Truly, no good deed goes unpunished.
What a fucking egotistical take on it. Wow.
Professor.
Imagine thinking someone owes you like a lifetime, like all of history of loyalty because of a canal and shit like that. My goodness. My fucking goodness. I don't even know. Wow.
It's very likely that Lady Rhea is confined in the Imperial Palace.
Maybe.
If so, then our strategy will be to gain control of the streets and then assault the castle. A street battle followed by a castle invasion. It's just one battle after another. It'll be tough, but we have to win. For Lady Rhea.
Oh, maybe that's what it is then? Huh. Huh. Okay. Maybe that's what the chapter differences are gonna be. We fight in the city, and then, like, maybe she locks herself in the castle, and we're like, we gotta prepare to... Because this is basically a fortress or something like that.
I was born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
Interesting. What were the churches about back then? The Saro stuff is relatively new. How did it work back then? Oh no, she's getting all caught up in this again.
We're finally going to the capital. This will be my chance to avenge Captain Gerald. Once we smash the Empire, I'm sure his soul will finally be able to rest in peace.
No, who can say for sure?
Monica killed Captain Gerald for the Flame Emperor, and the Flame Emperor was Edelgard. I know that the future of all Fodlan rests on this battle. Nothing else is more important.
I can't agree with any of the revenge sentiment. Honestly, I don't think Gerald was the type of person who'd care about revenge either. Honestly, if I were to say the thing that I think he'd care about, I think it would be for the MC here, in this case Emil, to live a happy life, to have success, find purpose, and all that sort of stuff. I don't think he's the sort of person that would care about revenge. And I think a lot of people, Leonie in this case, would know better than that. And I think it's pretty obvious she's doing it for herself, not for Jero at that point. So, yeah.
But for me, this is personal.
Yep.
For Captain Gerald's sake, I'm going to give it all I've got and more.
Yeah. Sure sounds like I'm right there.
So, Rhea will be somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming.
How?
If we are able to save her, then I expect you will learn many secrets that have hitherto been kept from you. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm me. I'm not exactly the sort that is going to change who I am based on some random revelation about me.
Excellent. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
No problem. I think that's the last of people I need to talk to. Oh, outside of Abyss people. Hey, what, buddy?
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Remember that battle 6 years ago? Oh, I'm guessing you do. Anyway, remember that knight who watched over Abyss with me for a while?
Vaguely.
I've been on the hunt for his whereabouts, and I finally found out what happened to him. My friend is no longer with us.
Oh?
Dead. Figured as much, but now I know for sure. I did get to meet his big sister, at least. I'll never have the chance to thank him for our time together. But maybe I can find a way to help out his sister instead. Bet he would have liked that.
He very well might have. And if that's the direction you want to go, all the power to you.
Those lights that came down on Merceus. I might have seen them before. Here at Garrick Mach. They looked like they'd rained down right on top of us. But at the last moment, they veered off. I think they crashed into ALL. Must have been the goddess's blessing that protected us.
Interesting. When? That's the biggest question there. When did that happen? Intriguing. What?
Listen up. Destroying the walls that separate Fodlan from the outside world strikes me as a bold step. I've spent so long struggling to reclaim the past that Claude's vision of the future casts me in a poor light. Oh, did you think I was serious? As if I would ever admit to a fault. Ensuring that the tradition of House Nouvelle continues uninterrupted is a noble task.
You just admitted you never admit to faults. Oh my goodness.
I don't know much about Almirans, but I guess I have something in common with them. We're viewed as different because of where we came from. There must be a lot of people like us.
There definitely are. That's unfortunately how humans tend to work.
That's what I thought. People from the north, the west, and even some isolated communities within Fodlan. And if that's the case, maybe Clodster's got the right idea.
I don't think I've heard that nickname for him before come out of your mouth. I like it, Clodster. That feels like it fits him quite well.
Cloud's quite the idealist, isn't he? Not that I've got room to talk. His ambitions are lofty and, well, reckless. One false move, and Fodlan is done for. Although, unrelenting idealism with a dash of recklessness can change the world.
True. And if things don't go smoothly, then you're forced to deal with the consequences. Much like Edelgard with her war, playing out much less smoothly than she desired. Okay, I used a lot of renown to get people's stuff up, so where are we at with these?
Now let me see. Marvelous.
Not
this
too
one
surprising.
Should be proud of. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud of their. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yeah. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud of their growth. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud of their growth. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes,
I feel like I had
Fare thee well.
about as many A's as last time, but on different people. Somewhat. At least partially. Snap, I almost missed Hilda because someone's actually up here for once. Oh.
Thanks so much. You're a sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Fighting in the capital? Ugh. And we're fighting against Edelgard. Double ugh. But with you leading us, Professor, I know we'll win. Yeah! Woohoo! Fighting! I'm a little scared, to be honest. I'm just shouting to relieve the tension, but I'll be fine.
Well, you are certainly... you certainly seem scared. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Letting things play out as they will. Whatever that ends up being. Man, I hope I can get Casper to use that fucking scythe by the end of this.
I have a question.
Okay. Some of the children were admiring a painting of mine. I'd like to paint a new piece, something just for them, to make them happy. What do you think I ought to paint? A swamp monster? Woodland creatures.
I see. Thank you.
That seemed like the easy answer, but it's probably not the best. Then again, I'm not sure if there's ever, like, a 100% motivation one. Or if there's always one. Oh, sure. Thanks for existing. Also, thanks for existing.
Thank you.
Oh shit, I didn't change anything. I don't really care that much at this point. For obvious reasons. Obvious reasons.
I'm counting on you.
Ready, Tom.
At least we tried.
You can do it, Casper. You can do it.
Guess I need to know this stuff.
Seems my
Okay, what else do we got? Seminar on Lance, because I'm gonna get Casper there. I am! At some point or another, Casper's gonna get there. It's gonna get goddamn there. So apparently she teaches lances despite her never using a lance. I legitimately don't think I've ever had her use a lance.
I'm getting the hang of this. It seems my proficiency has...
Seems my practice is...
Practice makes perfect.
Okay. Keep going through the week. Yeah, Casper should have been on this at some point or another. My goodness, I think he might be able to make it by the end of the month without me doing any more battles. Maybe. He has 2 more weeks. He's probably not going to get taught this next week, though. That is the only thing I'm aiming for at this point. Casper, get A in Lance so I can use the damn scythe. It's the entire, like, you were given the scythe. I'm going to have you damn use it.
At least we tried.
Oh my goodness.
Interesting.
A seminar again? Seminar. How much? Anyone have a better one? You have a better one, technically. Do it! I don't even know if this makes much of a difference, if at all, for their actual grade. If he ends up with like 5 until he gets to a A, I'm gonna be so... No, he's not gonna make it, is he? No, actually.
Practice makes
Maybe
perfect.
one more seminar might do it. One more seminar might be enough. It might be. Unless for some reason I could have done it. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. Is he going to make it before the battle? I think he's going to make it before the battle. Suspense, guys. This is the gameplay footage that you've been looking for this whole time. The suspense of if Casper's going to go over to A with his lance so he can use the scythe. Oh my goodness. So exciting.
At least we tried.
Oh my goodness, I think he got 20-something on the previous week. Oh my goodness, I just need the seminar. I don't care about the rest of it.
I think I've got the idea.
Good job learning a magic.
I finally get it.
Good job learning a magic. I'm sure that'll be good. Especially a high rank magic. Okay. Seminar. Then before the battle, I have a shit ton of supports to do. Do it! The last thing I care about for their stats. And yes! He can use the scythe! Yes!
Could be useful.
I'll make good use of this power.
This'll come in handy.
He doesn't even get anything. Whatever you get at A for Lance, I don't know what it is. But he can use it for the battle if I use him. I might not use him. That is a legitimate possibility. Either way, it looks like there isn't any cutscene beforehand. Now that's weird. Okay, I have a ton of support, so let's go down the list.
Hello, Flane. Isn't it about time you told me the truth?
About what exactly?
Everything!
Who you really are. Villains are after you for your blood. There's no doubt that you're someone special. And that's why Sedith is always worrying about you so much, right?
Well, yes. I see no reason to hide that fact.
But just what makes that blood of yours so special? More than anything, I've been wanting to find out Teach's true identity. But yours is bothering me almost as much. Somehow, I can't seem to stop thinking about you. It's almost like a crush. I have a crush on your secrets, sweet Flame.
Such flattery.
I've tried asking Sedith, but there's no sign of him budging on the issue. At this point, I guess I just need better bargaining skills. Or how about this? If you tell me the truth, I'll do anything you say.
That is not something I am willing to share, unfortunately.
However, since you are so passionate on the matter, I will promise you something.
What's that?
If you somehow manage to uncover the truth of my identity, I will acknowledge it as truth.
I mean, you're admitting there's a truth. You're admitting a little bit here.
That's real nice of you and all, but I think if I could come up with the truth, I'd be able to tell from your reaction anyway. You're not great at hiding your emotions, after all.
If you do somehow figure it out, then I would ask something of you, Claude. I would ask that you reveal your own true identity.
Now that's a request I wasn't expecting.
It has been clear to me for quite some time now that you are no ordinary noble. I have been pondering, well, you, quite a lot lately. The curiosity is enough to drive me mad.
I see. Well, that's an interesting turn of events. Looks like we both have a little crush on our hands, huh? I hope the day comes when we can talk freely about both of our identities.
I mean, I feel as though his and hers, honestly, are both fairly obvious at this point. Is that wrong of me to say? I don't think so, at the very least.
So that's it. I'm going to be a great mercenary just like Captain Gerald.
Ha! You skipped right to the conclusion. That's exactly what Gerald would do.
I know. I picked that up from him, too.
That might not be the finest trait of his to emulate. In the end, it comes down to combat skill. Regardless, I'm happy to hear you say all this.
Why's that?
I've strived to become a knight at the level of Captain Gerald. But I'm an old man. I've come to accept that I will never be his match.
No, don't say that. You can't give up.
No, it's quite all right. I know myself and what I'm capable of. But you're still young. Youth is a weapon of the utmost power. Infinite possibility. We are both inspired by Captain Gerald. So I hereby bequeath to you my lofty ambitions.
That's... wow. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No need to cry, Leone. I'm relieved. My dream is in good hands with you. Captain Gerald is looking down proudly on you, I'm sure. Will you carry on his legacy?
Of course I will. Definitely.
Leone, do you remember the story I told you once about what happened at the inn?
The hatchet throwing? Sure, I remember. Why?
Here's the thing. Like I said before, I'm not really the sort of person that personally would really want people to put too much meaning into their internal characterization of me. The revenge thing was the thing from before. Hero worship, I would have a similar opinion on, personally. And it's like they're talking about, like, living up to those ambitions and whatnot, and that's fine if they want to go for being a really good mercenary, really good knight, or anything like that. And if they want to use Gerald or their hero worship vision of Gerald as their milestone, that's fantastic. And I'm not going to complain because it is what it is, but personally, I at least am a little uncomfortable, personally, putting myself in the shoes of the child of him, of them speaking for him in regards to sort of a hero worship view of how he would treat it. I'm sure he would view it positively, but it's a hard thing to express because it's very much a gut feeling sort of thing.
Gerald ran up quite a tab with all his drinking, and he left without paying. Now his debt is due.
Huh.
And, as you have declared that you'll carry on his legacy, you see where I'm going with this.
Wait, what? That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me either. I don't drink. Even so, all this time, I've been paying it back little by little. And it's not just that one place. He owes money in towns all over Fodlan. I haven't been able to step into a tavern anywhere without being badgered for payment. Ugh, so exhausting. But now, I can say that the debts are for you to cover. You're still young, so I'm sure you'll manage in time. Thank you, Leonie!
He has a son, too, and they're the... Oh my god. That is hilarious.
Hold on, that's a joke, right? Hey, get back here! Take your lofty ambitions back! I don't want your stupid debts!
That is... I will take the whole mention of the hero worship aspect of it and just be like, that is a great way to contrast that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for going to such lengths to come see me, Happy.
I live here, so it's not like I had to travel a long way. Do you need me for something, Coco?
Need might be an exaggeration.
Good, because I was just headed to bed. It's nearly sunset. Have a good night.
Wait, no. Just because I don't need you for anything doesn't mean you may go. Need isn't quite it precisely. How to broach the subject nicely.
Nice rhyme. Are you dabbling in poetry now?
Don't be daft. Anyway, I need you for something.
You could have just said that from the start. So you want me to drink whatever this is?
It's how I intend to show my gratitude for all the things you do for me.
Right. Everything I do for you. Such as... what exactly?
Oh, you know, the pastries, the dried meats, sharing your fruits.
Oh, like when we ate those currants and you got juice all over your face.
Must you bring that up every time? It took me hours to get the stains out of my favorite fan.
I thought it was funny. So, what's this drink you gave me? It smells good, but it looks weird.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, don't roofie her? No, they wouldn't do that.
It's all the rage amongst the elite now. They call it coffee.
Oh no.
It's derived from rare Dagdan beans, which are roasted, ground, and then boiled over water.
You know, coffee might be good for her. I suppose yawning isn't the problem, but that might... As a person who doesn't drink coffee myself, and sometimes really regrets it, I just avoid everything addictive in life. Except food, I guess, and water. Man, I love water. But, I don't drink coffee, basically. And I definitely feel as though I could benefit from it if I did.
That's a lot of effort to make hot bean water. Nobles find such inventive ways to waste time.
Hold your criticism until you've tasted it. And taste it quickly, please. This is a beverage that one must drink hot.
All right, I guess.
Well, your verdict?
Whoa. This is not what I expected. It kind of tastes like mud, but also it's delicious and I never want to stop drinking it.
There's addiction. That's how addiction works. I know this is bad for me, but I never want to stop. I never want to stop.
Exactly my reaction! The flavor is so striking that one trembles for more!
Don't people normally dislike the taste of coffee? I'm gonna note that too. That it's more something that people get used to. Oh, I'm also saying this is a person that doesn't drink it, but, you know.
All gone. Got more?
Indeed I do not! The coffee bean, as I mentioned, is rare and thus expensive. They are not easy to procure. Though, if I could restore House Nouvelle to its former glory, I might have means to acquire more.
Oh my goodness, was this a pitch to get her on her side?
On second thought, never mind. You don't have to go to all that trouble.
Oh, but I was going to restore my house anyway. It just may be some time until my finances improve.
How about we go to the woods and find some fruit trees like we did the other day? Fresh fruit might not be as fancy as coffee, but it's good enough for me. Come on.
If that's all you desire, I think I can indulge you. To the orchards!
Suppose they have a nice relationship. Didn't really develop much. Not much really developed there, basically, but.
Brother!
Flame, is something the matter?
Oh, God.
I thought I made it clear that I do not want you meddling in the affairs of me and my friends.
It's been a while.
I am not quite sure what you are referring to, but I promise you I would never try to stand in your way.
It has come to my attention that you have been running about asking people what they think of me. Asking everyone!
Oh, what answer would Emil give? She's okay.
Well, of course I have. It took me quite some time. But for you, it was well worth the effort. I was able to confirm that you are getting along well with everyone. It was very reassuring.
I cannot emphasize enough how embarrassed I was when I found out. And you have caused such a stir for those whom you questioned. Why, one person even said he feared for his life when you cornered him in the dining hall.
The dining hall? Ah, I know the fellow you are referring to. Yes, I've seen the way he looks at you.
It's Ignatz. That's the only one that makes sense. It's Ignatz. Everything about that matches up.
I recognized in an instant that he had impure feelings for you. As your brother, I took it upon myself to test his resolve. I merely asked him if he was prepared to lay his life on the line for my beloved sister.
He is nothing more than a friend. Kindly keep out of my social business in the future.
I am happy to see that you are making friends, but you should weigh your options more carefully.
Who I befriend is absolutely none of your business. Do you know what they call people like you? Overprotective meddlers.
You tell him. Oh, that's such a tame name. Say something more, motherfucker. I don't know. Say something with a swear. Do it, Flame. Swear.
I am no longer a child. Are you incapable of trusting me, even a little?
Of course I trust you, but as an elder brother, I have a certain responsibility.
As my brother?
Obviously.
Oh, never mind it. If you'll excuse me.
I'm surprised they talk that way in private still. They don't go for the whole father-daughter reality. I know it would, like, reveal it, but it also seems, you know, revealing in other ways.
Why did you bring me here? It's so isolated.
Kill.
That would be the point.
They're gonna kill. Oh, are you doing the sigh?
Yikes. See you around, B.
Hang on a second. Out here, in a place like this, you should be free to sigh, yeah?
What do you mean by that?
I just thought it would do you well to cut loose and sigh to your heart's content.
That's okay, so I believe it was explained to me that it's revealed over the course of several supports that I do not have access to between everything. Most of them, at least. That basically it's a magic summoning, ultimately, is what it comes down to, and she doesn't have control over the summons.
Really? You found a nice quiet place where you could annoy me without putting bystanders at risk?
Why does this always happen? That's not what I meant. This is me doing something nice for you.
Fun fact, if you want to do something nice for someone, you don't need to surprise them. You can ask them, hey, would you like this? And they could say, yeah, that sounds cool. And you could be like, cool, I'll work on it. Wait a little bit. But yeah, we can do that. Neat idea, right? To just ask people so you're not guessing.
You said before that you can't ever relax because you're worried about endangering others. A lot's been going on recently, so let her rip already. Sigh until you can sigh no more.
That's nice of you. A chance to relax and sigh as I please. Sounds good. But what do we do about the monsters?
Mind you, I wasn't saying that she wouldn't like it, but you know, it's good to confirm things beforehand, is my point.
What do you think? A monster shows up, I punch it in the nose. Done deal.
By yourself?
What if it doesn't have a nose?
I'm never alone, pal. These two fists are always by my side, and they never let me down.
Oh, right.
Convincing?
It doesn't have to be here if you have performance anxiety, but anytime you accidentally call a monster, just holler and I'll punch it to next Tuesday. In fact, maybe it's best if you just stick by my side from now on. Do that and you're free to sigh whenever the urge strikes.
Why would I have to stay by your side?
Not a lot of people in this world can knock out a beast without breaking a sweat. I'm one of them. And since I'm always on the run from bounty hunters, I'm an exceptionally light sleeper.
You expect me to sleep by your side too?
Ooh, this may be my best idea yet.
I don't think he realizes what he's suggesting, basically.
If I'm always with a monster summoner, fewer people will come after my bounty. This is brilliant.
Ah, there it is.
Never change, B.
No, he doesn't.
You're so predictable. Alright, have fun.
Have fun? That's an odd thing to do!
Yeah, she can do it really low-key. His sighs are pretty low-key.
Monsters, they're everywhere. This is gonna be a blast.
It's hard not to like that dummy.
He is sort of so naive and not naive in other ways that it does make a good combination. It does. It does.